National Judicial Council, NJC, has constituted 4 probe panels to investigate 27 High Court judges in the country over various allegations of judicial misconduct brought against them. The council also issued letter of advice to Justice O.M. Olagunju of Oyo State High Court to be circumspect as a judicial officer before acting, even in the most challenging situation. At its 106th meeting, presided over by the outgoing Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, the NJC considered the report of its preliminary complaints assessments committee on 22 petitions written against 27 judicial officers of the federal and state high courts. Based on the report of the preliminary committee, the council set up 4 committees to investigate allegations in the petitions that were found meritorious. A statement by the NJC Director of Information, Mr. Soji Oye, on Friday in Abuja, however, said that the remaining 18 petitions were discountenanced for lacking in merit, abandoned, or being sub judice. Asims, what is your take on this story?
There's nothing new. It's been like this. I've known, the legal profession. But it's just that we have to reiterate that the judiciary, otherwise known as the judicature in the Constitution, is a hallmark of democracy in any country. The judiciary saved democracy in America in January 6, 2020. Judiciary has saved nations from war. Also, judiciary can plunge a nation into war. Judiciary can create problems for the polity. In Bangladesh, many do not know that it was because of a court decision that the highest court in Bangladesh delivered a judgment, and the following day, the people poured onto the street, and a government was toppled by popular votes and demand. It was the courts in that particular country that created the opportunity for that to happen. So you see the role the judiciary play in Nigeria here, under Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution, is very sacrosanct. That is why we see when you refer to mortals as my Lord, that tells you that after God, they are next. The judiciary can sentence a man to death, can sentence a man to imprisonment. Of course, they make mistakes here and there because they are human beings. Just like late, Justice Oputa, said about fallibility and infallibility, that they are not infallible, that they are fallible because they are human beings. That is, they can make mistakes. Quite recently, I read about a young man in the U.S. who was about 24 years old, who was convicted for murder, and he spent 48 years in prison. It was just last year it was found out that he was not the one that murdered, the victim. That is a miscarriage of justice. That tells you that, the judicature and those judges can make mistakes. They are not above mistake. So that goes back to the fact that fallibility and infallibility by Justice Oputa, the theory, as we call it, of the Supreme Court, not being infallible, but because they are fallible, that is why they find out that they can make mistakes, as the case may be. But they are final courts. So this was what happened. And to compensate the young man, the American government paid him $7.8 million for the mistake of one particular court or the judge. Likewise in Nigeria here, the judiciary has been plundered. The judiciary has been dismembered. The judiciary has been lobotomized, like I normally use that word, medical. It's a medical term, that you have removed the frontal lobe of the brain, and the brain cannot function properly again. Judiciary has become a burden to us lawyers, to the extent that if I walk on the street, when I'm going to court, those days I used to have my collarless, but these days, if I'm going to court, I wear my native attire. Then when I get to the office or the court premises, I enter the common room and change to my normal robe, because of the fear that I have consciously on me that when people see you as a lawyer, you are bound, you attract a lot of negative comments. It's as a result of the judiciary. So if the NJC has said they are, going to discipline judges, I agree with them. But it's not about making it or saying in your 106 session meeting, and at the end of the day, you don't discipline them. A good example is this ex parte orders that has been abused by judges. And the ex parte orders has created problems in Rivers State especially, based on ex parte orders, different orders from different courts. I was thinking that one or two of the judges should have been sanctioned. And it is on record that one judge from Rivers State is under sanction, though the old dispensation. But more should be sanctioned in respect to the polity and what is happening in Rivers State politically today. Many of them are culpable, but we have seen that the NJC treat them at times with kids' gloves. That is why you find out that it keeps repeating itself. You understand? I want to see an NJC that will punish people, judges. For instance, I want to see an NJC that will look at the Kano issue, the Court of Appeal. They delivered a judgment. It was later found that the judgment they delivered viva voce, that is openly and speaking, was different from the one that was written. What has happened to that particular panel? What happened to that particular case? A lot of people made noise, NJC made noise to punish. What have they done with the investigations, happening to this? We don't know, as the case may be. Was it a frivolous allegation or not? The NJC should let us know. So punishment is within their cubicle and within the purview of NJC to punish erring judges, as the case may be. And I want to say, with due respect, punishing them by relieving them of their duties and maybe suspending them or whatever, or let them go, is not enough. They should be prosecuted in court for criminal conduct if they are found so wanting and culpable, criminally speaking. Some of them should go to jail because they send people to jail. So let them go and test. Some of them who are very airy, go and do that. Finally on this is that if the judiciary, that to the extent about 27 judges, had petitions against them, but some of these petitions, the people didn't come back, they were discountenanced or abandoned, as case may be. But if they had come to prove those things, we would have seen a lot of things, come out openly that will help us. But it's worrisome that 27, have complaints against them. The reason is because of the fact that the judges now are under serious pressure from politicians, and they are the ones who convert and make these judges, act out of their way. They are products of the society. Before I became a lawyer, I was part of the society. Even when I'm still a lawyer today, I'm still part of the society. So society's corruption, etc., has come into me, all of us. But the only thing that differentiates, a corrupt person from the others is the culture of honor. When we come and say we are honorable, my father told me, never take anything that does not belong to you. A lot of us have forgotten that. People feel that the only way not to be rich is the way society look at it. Finally on this, I said so recently, I said the culture of reward system in Nigeria is very bad. That is why you see when judges go and get opportunities, they want to amass wealth, as the case may be. A judge who retired goes home, he has no house in his place. He works on his food. People will say, look at this man. He was a high court judge. Look at it. He didn't see the worker with leg. So they see it as derogatory. because the man tried to maintain honor. You now look at him. And I have advocated a good one in Rivers State, which I said in your sister session last week, which the society do not recognize. Justice J.O. Kobani, retired. That is a forthright judge, a judge that we know in the annals of history of the judiciary in Rivers State here. That man is so honored. He discharged his duties. But nobody today, nobody has gone to give that man an award to say, oh, for being so upright, as the case may be, we are giving you this award. But you see charlatans receiving awards every day on television. So the reward system, what do you think the man will be thinking? And say, if I had known when I was there, I would have done things otherwise. But he was straightforward. He was just like that, a normal human being that said, I don't want to be corrupt, I do. And he was stunted. His growth was stunted on the bench. He couldn't go beyond that particular point. He was very upright. So the reward system in Nigeria today is another reason why people, go outside of their way and do some dishonorable things instead of honorable things. But the reward system is so bad. So the society itself has inputs to make our judicature a better, system institution in Nigeria.
All right. Honorable Churchill,
Yeah,
what do you have to say? You got that Barrister Sim has, dwelt on this from the angle of the judiciary and from experience as a lawyer, and he laid a lot of blame on the doorstep of politicians. Now, you, Honorable Churchill, you're a politician.
I will exonerate the politicians.
All right, you may have your say.
You want to exonerate?
I want to exonerate the politicians.
Oh my God.
Go on.
Okay, first of all, like when we are growing, when they tell you your daughter wants or your son wants to study law, you'll be happy. Law medicine was one of the courses that we are trending at that time. I have so many friends that are lawyers, but I began to be very, dicey in my thinking about lawyers right from this incident that just occurred in Rivers State, where others are climbing others and others are sweeping others and others are crossing others. No, I now look at judiciary as an avenue where the Orina crisis people are surrounded so much. And most of them are Orina crisis people, They say when a family, a land
Who are the Orina crisis?
Orina crisis are people that go
the
to
politicians,
take yes,
right?
Not only the politicians. I say including the lawyers are becoming Orina crisis. Let me tell you why I call them Orina crisis. When they come to give you money to give me injunction, you give me the injunction, you take the money without knowing the consequences of the injunction tomorrow.
Who asks for, who prays for the injunction?
The others are climbing and flying, others are flying too. And it happened in Rivers State. You are aware of that. So, but I thank God that the agency has come up with this particular idea. And I believe that there are some certain things that will happen now to straighten the size.
But this is not the first time NJC is coming up with this. I mean, over and over again, they have always made the statement, particularly Wola, has always said, oh, they are going to sanction erring judges, they are going to probe erring judges, they are going to do this and do that and all of that.
Okay.
And the question, like, I wanted to ask Barrister Sims, but he had already, in his extrapolation, he clearly answered it. Because I wanted to ask, the reason for the increase in judicial rascality, probably is it because of the docility of the NJC? And when he was talking, without my asking,
he made it clear.
He made it clear that this is what it is. And I'm asking you now, as a politician, Barrister Sims has laid a lot of blame on the doorstep of politicians. Okay, and you're trying to exonerate people who are clearly culpable. Now, the others and the counter-others that have been flying, particularly in Rivers State, for example, who are the persons going to court?
That's where now when we're talking about others are climbing and others are flying.
How do you defend?
Let me tell you. See, the problem of the agency is that they are watery. I mean, when I mean they are watery, they are accessible, and that is the reason why the high rate of the corruption is there. They are the people that are supposed to curtail and control corruption, but they are the people that has increased the high level of corruption. And the politicians that the politicians that pay you for you to give judgment, it's not the fault because
it's not the fault of the politicians.
It's not the fault of the politicians.
Can you hear Honorable
But you know what I'm saying.
I don't know.
But you know one thing is that you cannot even grow in the judiciary without the politicians. That is where the problem comes. Because they are the people that, with the recommendation of the agency, the politicians now, the agency will recommend 3-4 persons for a position. And the politicians will take decision on who to appoint. Why not the agency appoint? You understand? And let it be confirmed by the politicians. But in the other way around,
who makes the law?
The politicians make the law.
All right, go on.
You understand?
And you're blaming who exactly?
The problem is that the judiciary that interprets the law has not told the politicians that this particular angle of this law has to be in the other way around. Because when you tell me something, just like our Senate is telling the Nigerians how much they should pay them, the rep is telling Nigeria how much you should pay them. When Obasanjo is telling you, how will you now say how much somebody your payee should pay you? You agree with me that you're on a rigmarole because you are really trying to be a politician.
No, you're a politician clearly, but you're on a rigmarole right now because you're trying so hard to defend
the politician.
You say politicians make the law.
Yes.
They actually make the law that makes NJC recommend, while the politicians, according to your words, will appoint. Right?
So they recommend.
NJC will recommend.
But it's as if people
will recommend, and then your people, will appoint.
My people
so
will
because
appoint.
of that, Barrister Sims people have no choice but to dance to the tune
of
that your people are playing, correct? And then at the end of the day, hold on.
You are pushing it to the
and then at the
politicians.
end of the day, you are now saying that the orders and counter orders that are being given by Barrister Sims people are orders that your people actually pray their people to give. And you have also said that your people can make or mar them. You also said that your people can actually make the good ones in Barrister Sims people to have stunted growth in their career.
No, I did not say
these are the issues.
Because these are the issues. You just mentioned
Hold on, Barrister Sims, Honorable Churchill. Now, if these are the issues, how then are you making a case for your people who are clearly culpable in even the judicial rascality that has been found in Barrister Sims people? I'm using your language.
Okay, now by the grace of God, you did not say politicians rascality. What you said is the judicial rascality. And we are discussing about the judicial rascality. And I know too well that the agency, the reason why this rascality has continued to this level is because of lack of implementation of disciplinary actions. Lack of implementation of disciplinary actions. That is the reason why it continued, and it will also continue if they are not being disciplined.
All right.
So, Barrister Sims people, you understand, is his people till tomorrow because he's an esquire and we know too well. So, people have
I don't
refused.
know too well. You know too well.
No, Barrister Sims people have refused to keep the country the way it's supposed to be.
Oh wow.
And the reason why Nigeria is having so much problem in becoming orderly in the side of the law is because the judiciary have refused to abide to becoming themselves.
All right.
In becoming rights. And there is no let me say there is no discipline. There is
no, that is not proper.
All right.
Okay, there is no high level of discipline.
I want to say, let me just say this with due respect, because people point accusing fingers at judiciary or whatever. Now, have you ever wondered or maybe expected a state where political matters don't come to court at all, except maybe when it has to do with the constitution? That is how it should be. That is why you find in the American system, you can't even come to court, come and tell me somebody said I should not, I'm a member of one Republican party, I can't be a member. I can't bring that matter to court. Nobody will even listen to you. The second one is this. For every reaction, there must be a cause. Nigerian politicians are just like the animals in the Serengeti. With due respect to them, the only law that they know is not the law of Moses, it's not the law of the country or the constitution, it's the law of survival. The law they know is that I want to survive the political firmament in my political party, and they do what I call do or die. Why is it that you lose an election, you do not even have facts to buttress the fact that you won the election, but you run to court? What do you expect the court to do? You know that you didn't win the election. You know that you are not a popular candidate. You know that you have failed. The people do not recognize you. But because you want to delay the process, you just go on the voyage to go and, because the law is open to go to Supreme Court. So you want to challenge and distort that man's whatever, till you get to Supreme Court. Why don't you accept defeat and say congratulations? Even in football, Nigerians don't concede. They blame referee, they blame player, they blame the ball, they blame the stadium. But those who watch from outside of Nigeria will say they accept defeat. Players who play the game hug themselves and go home. But Nigerians will tell you, no, that goal ought not to be a goal, it's an offside goal. It's the mentality of the Nigerian people that has affected the judiciary.
Okay.
Because when you bring so many matters before a judge, and you look at it now, it becomes something that you don't understand, the judge will not be happy. Stop blaming the judiciary alone. Nigerian politicians are also part of these problems. That is the situation, please.
Okay, Barrister Sim, I want to agree with you that the judiciary itself need to be disciplined.
They are disciplining themselves already.
Okay. That is the area I want to, because if they don't discipline these judges, what is happening will continue happening.
All right.
That means the major key players in these characters problems that is happening in the country is the judiciary.
Do you know that Secondus is now saying judiciary is his hope of becoming because he won yesterday. But when it was against him, he said judiciary is bad. So these are the problems we have in Nigeria.
The judiciary.
So
the judiciary.
All right.
What's he talking about the judiciary?
It's sad.
All right.